Welcome to Downtown Summit. I'm Emmy Havis, and this is Meet the Merchants. Summit has always been known as a decorating haven for people who want to find a decorator, buy some furniture, redo their floors, redo their kitchen. So today we're going to visit two of our decorating people in town, one who has been here for a very long time and one who's a new transplant from New Providence. And then we're going to stop by Photo Summit and take a look at some cameras you might want to think about for your upcoming vacations. Let's take a walk. Here we are at Perot with Barbara Pizer and Robert Oberdick, and don't let the two last names fool you. This is a husband and wife team, and they are very, very successful. How have you done that working together for all these years?
Well, I'll tell you, it's not that hard when you get together and she's your best friend, and we have all the similar interests, so that's what makes it easy for us.
That'll do it, right?
Yes,
You agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely do. And we have different strengths in the store, so I would say I'm more on the design end, and he cleans up after me.
Wow, keep this guy around. He's a good one. Yeah, does that work at home too, or no?
Actually, it does work.
Whoa, terrific, terrific. And you have been here for a long time.
We
Yes.
have. We've been in town over 40 years. So we are probably one of the oldest design firms here in town.
I think
And
you
it's
are.
And it's was a family-owned business, still is. Robert's brother, my brother-in-law, started it over 40 years ago, and we are the next generation, and hopefully there'll be another generation after us.
Isn't that
To
great?
continue,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Yeah, when I was looking through our list of stores, I noticed that you are the oldest, and I think I've known you for all that time because we've been here not over 40, but over 30.
Close
So
enough, right?
that's correct. That's correct.
Feels over 40.
I know, it does. That's true. So tell me a little bit about what you specialize in.
We're basically residential interior design, and we can do everything from helping you pick paint colors for your walls to doing your whole house, window treatments, reupholstering, new furniture, etc. And I think the biggest thing is to been change with the times. We're definitely more on the traditional edge, but we can be more transitional as things get a little bit more modern. So we're great. And if you need just a little gift for a graduation.
Yes,
or
I
wedding,
was
we
just
have
going to
those as
say
well.
that. I was just going to say that. Well, this is more or less a traditional area. So is that the type of customer you get, the traditional?
Yes, I would say overall, most of our clients are traditional. They like a little mix here and there. Again, we probably have done an eclectic design throughout our whole incorporation here with the company. And when you do an eclectic design, it means you can introduce items or stories from another period and make them work all together. It's a good marriage. So that's probably our basics that we work with.
Yeah, that's true. And Barbara, you mentioned gifts. You have great gifts in here also to come in for anything.
We do. We have a great selection of barware, which is kind of over there. And we have picture frames. We have gorgeous porcelains that would complement any decor, lighting. Just about little
Top to
gifts.
bottom,
starting-
A to Z.
Right.
Things starting at $20
Yeah.
and up. So
Soup to nuts.
Soup to nuts. Now, let me ask you something. Robert, did you always do this? Were you two always a team in design, or did you have a life before Perot?
Well, I had a retail life before, but yes, out in Chicago, I ran a shoe store for many years until I got recruited back to New Jersey, my hometown, to work with my brother. So that's where it really developed. I did some extra schooling in New York for design, and away we went. Yes, exactly. Yes.
And Barbara, how about you?
yes, actually, Robert and I met at Perot. We had other lives before, but my background is in art. I have a degree in art from Parsons, and I did book jackets for St. Martin's Press. I ran art galleries.
really?
So really
Really?
that's how I got started,
Yeah.
because usually when you're presenting art in a client's home, then they start asking you other questions. And that's how I got into the design aspect of
Yeah,
it.
a natural segue.
Yeah, natural segue into that. Yeah, so and it's worked out perfectly.
Yeah, that's interesting. Parsons is such a great school. And I'm sure you two find all of that experience you had back then. Every day you pull a little thread from it to add to your business here. So now I know you also are active in some of the show houses.
We are, and we just, we did the last one, which was 2 years ago, the Blairsden, which is one of the 10 stately homes of America. So that was very exciting, and that was for the Morristown Hospital Group.
Yeah.
So hopefully there'll be another one next year, and we will be involved with that. So we'll just keep things in the mix.
Yeah. They do it, I think, every other year, and they
Yes,
do
were
pick
supposed
beautiful.
to do it this year, but
Yeah.
the house that they had planned on doing it fell through because it's such a big commitment on whoever owns the home. They
Yeah.
have to keep the house available for almost a year.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it takes that long for the designers
Yeah.
to come in and set up the rooms and then
Yeah.
the thousands and thousands of people to go through.
Yeah.
But Blairsden was, I think, the biggest one they'd ever
Yeah.
done. So
And
it was
Robert,
very exciting.
yeah, and how do you go about doing that? Do you ask for a room, or are you assigned a room? How does that work?
Basically, what happens is we go through the house and we try and determine which rooms would work best for the type of design that
Oh,
we're
I
going
see.
to do.
Okay.
Now, what we have to do then, though, is we have to create a board of what the design is going to be with all the materials, fabrics, furniture, etc. Then we give that to the committee. They go over all of these and they make a decision on
I see.
who is going to actually get what room and where in the house you'll be situated. So
Oh,
it's not always guaranteed that you'll actually
Yeah,
get one of the
yeah,
rooms.
Yeah,
So.
it's not like you raise your hand and say, "I'll take this room," and you squat
No, I
and
wish.
you do it. Don't you wish? Yeah.
wish,
And
yes.
and you get some pretty big designers from out of the area. It's not just
absolutely.
local.
Yes, it goes from New York, Connecticut,
Yeah.
and
Actually,
certainly
all over the country. I
yeah.
think, just
Yeah.
about depending on
Yeah.
how big of a scope the house is.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so we were very excited to have that, and we had the master's bedroom. So that was the name of it.
That was a beautiful room. That was a beautiful room.
do that.
It was a beautiful house to start
Oh my
with,
God.
quite
It was
honestly. You know,
amazing.
set up the card table and it's going to look good in the
Correct,
room.
yes,
Like not anything
Right.
against you guys. So, Barbara, what is your favorite part about this business?
You know what? I love actually working with the clients and presenting fabrics. I love different fabrics, different ideas. And I always say to the client, this is what I would suggest for you, but it's your home.
Yeah.
So what will work the
Yeah.
best for you? And we try to make that all married together.
What can you live with?
What can you live with? If they have kids, we want the fabric to be more practical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe 2 chairs that nobody ever sits in, but they look fabulous on
Yeah.
either side of the fireplace.
Yeah.
So it really is that working with people on a day in and day out
Yeah.
basis that is very exciting.
How about you, Robert?
I would
Working with Barbara, I know.
Yes, exactly.
You can score a few more points here.
I would say putting all the plans together when you're starting out fresh and saying, oh, what's the palette I've got to work with, and a lot of times it's kind of unlimited, so that really gets the creative juices flowing, and it's pulling the fabrics and the furniture designs together. So
great.
again, that's
It's that
what's
creative spirit going. Yeah, that's great. Well, you two are terrific, and we love having you in town here.
Well, we love being on the same street as you.
I know
and
it's a
hope
great
that we'll be here
street.
for
It's a
many
great
years
street.
more.
Yeah, and you two also. Now, tell me, do you have a website?
We do. It is perrotinteriordesign.com. Very easy. It shows all the information about our design services. It has photos of clients' homes, shows
Terrific.
items that we have for sale in the store, etc. And then you can always reach us. There's a contact information on the website as well, too.
Great. This is the Photo Summit, and I'm here with Brett Harmon, who was kind enough to talk to us a little bit about cameras in our Christmas show. So, Brett, good to see you again. Thanks for being with us.
No problem. Good to see you also.
Good. Now, Brett, tell me a little bit about the Photo Summit. How long have you been here? You are one of the owners, family business.
It is a family business. I'm one of the owners. My parents bought it from another gentleman back in the early 80s, so it's been in my family about 33 years now. And they did rename it to the Photo Summit. People have asked, well, why not call it Summit Photo instead of Photo Summit? Back when there was a thing called phone books, P came before S in the phone book, so people would hopefully find you first before they got down to the S's. It wasn't really a better reason than that.
No, and that was true for a lot of people back in those days. So you have seen a lot of changes in the film and camera business for the years that you've worked here. But before we get to that, tell me, what did you do before this? Was there something else you did before they roped you back into the family business?
I mean, I worked here as a kid, helping out, stocking, some sales. I went off to school, it was college, it was photo related. I then worked for Fujifilm for about 7 years. I was still in the photo industry, but that was more corporate, and it was actually very useful learning to deal with the bigger companies. I got to work with stores and labs across the country, which was also very beneficial. So
Great experience, great experience. So back to my question I started before. Tell me, when you started out, we were in film, and now where are we? Tell me a little
Well,
bit how
back
we've
in the-
come.
Back in the, and I'm going to take a step back.
Sure.
Back in the days, all of these cubbies you see here had film in them. They total film, all different kinds. You had Kodak, you had your Fuji, you had your Ilford, you had your Polaroid. Now you can see, and we actually have a lot of film compared to a lot of places. You go into a chain store or something, you're really not going to see any at this point. But we still have people that do shoot film. It's actually gotten a little more popular than a few years ago. Still not as popular as it was 20 years ago, of course. But as a result, I just got in a fresh stock of some Kodak film today. But even right here, you can see, this is what our film was back then. This is what our film is nowadays. Your digital chips, your SD cards, your CF cards. So this kind of really demonstrates how we've changed since I started, or even since the family took over the store back in the 80s.
Which do you like better? I mean, since you've been through it all, and I assume you are a photographer, which did you like better, or are there things about both you like?
You know, they both have their advantages. The convenience of memory cards, how fast you can print it, how fast you can have it. The fact I can look at the back of the camera and see the picture and know if I got it, it can't be
Sure.
beat. Having said that, there's some, for lack of a better word, romance about the film, about really working with it.
Sure.
Some of those tones that you just kind of lose in a digital age. I guess it would be the equivalent of vinyl versus CD,
Sure.
that whole argument.
And people can bring their film in here and you can have it developed for them, right?
Absolutely. We don't do it in-house. We can send it out. Takes a few days for regular film. Even the oddball stuff you might have kicking around in your drawer from 20, 30 years ago, we can have that worked with too. Takes a little longer, but if you've got some old film and you're like, I don't even know what type of film this is, bring it on in. Odds are we can get it taken care of for you.
So you have a cute little stand here.
Well, yeah, this is really where we've gone now. I mean, everybody, you take pictures with your phones. It might be because you're at the store, you need to send something home so your other half can see it, but we sell more of these little tripods with this little mobile mount, or just a mobile mount to put on your tripod, so that people can get better shots with their cell phone. We also have the lenses that go on, we have lights for it, but these devices take most of the pictures being shot nowadays. You might as well make it look as good as you can.
That's absolutely incredible. We've gone from huge tripods, huge cameras, down to this little tiny thing that you can stick in your pocket and walk away with. It really is unbelievable. But let's digress just a little bit more away from phones, because a phone is not a camera. And you do, more times than not, get a better picture with a camera. Am I wrong or am I right?
You know, another dealer who we know, his favorite saying is, the right camera is the one you have with you. So if you have your phone with you, use it.
Yeah.
Having said that, there are times where, yes, you will do much better with a true camera. If it's low light, if you need to zoom in, if you're really trying to freeze action better. If you're out on a bright sunny day, your phone's going to do a great job. Don't knock it. But there's times where a camera is still going to do better. Hands down.
Sure. So, saying that, what have you got for us at this time of year? I'm going on vacation. I want something simple and easy to use. What are you recommending?
Well, I'm actually going on vacation next week, and I'm bringing a few cameras, as you might imagine, but if I was just bringing one, it would be the type of camera I'm holding, which is a Fuji X30. I have the previous version. It is a point and shoot. You might say, well, I'm surprised you're going to bring a point and shoot and not one where you can change lenses. You know, there's times where I still want that, you know, sports. I will bring one along on vacation, but if you said just bring one camera along, it's compact. I only have about 4 times zoom, but it's a great 4 times zoom. It lets in a lot of light, does great video. It's a durable camera. My version of this last year when I was shooting out back in the parking lot, it fell out of my hands and I kicked it across the parking lot by
my
accident.
gosh.
It's a metal body. Guess what? It's a
Oh.
little scraped. I picked it up. It's still working
Still
great.
working great.
So there's something to
Yeah.
be said for that.
Yeah.
I love a camera like this. If I'm going with the family into the city, and let's be honest, unless we're really going somewhere, going to the zoo, going, you know, doing more almost touristy stuff, I don't want to have a ton of gear on me. Something
Sure.
like this is just so much easier
Perfect.
to put in my pocket, put over my shoulder.
Sure, sure. So where are you going on vacation?
Heading down to the Outer Banks, and I'll be
nice.
bringing one of this
Nice.
type of camera. I'll be bringing my big camera with all the lenses, and also we'll be bringing a waterproof point and shoot for the pool shots and a GoPro. so that you can get all those shots. We're even doing something where we're probably going to take the Jeeps out on the coast and do the off-roading. We're going to mount the GoPro right to the Jeep.
Perfect, perfect. So who else is in the store here with you? It's not just you.
No, the folks, my parents, Lynn and Jerry, are still here. We have a few other staffers as well that do sales, do restorations, will print your pictures, including posters, and basically anything else you need, any of us can help you out.
Perfect. So again, I'm just going to point out to our viewers, another family business run and staffed here in Summit. It was great to talk to you. Tell me what your website is.
It's photosummit.com, and from there you can do almost anything you want. You can even get to it from your phone or your tablet and print your pictures right from there if you want to, because those pictures on your phone are great, but there are times where you really want to have a copy of them besides on your phone.
Absolutely. And what are your hours?
We're here 9:30 to 5:30 during the week, 9 to 5 on Saturday.
Great. And phone number?
908-273-7427.
And Brett and family are right here on Springfield Avenue in downtown Summit. Thanks again. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. This is Home Again Designs, and I'm here with Kathy Collier, the owner, and the person who you'll meet when you come through the front door. Kathy, thanks for being with us. It's so nice to be here in your new space. You were formerly in New Providence, and now you have come into the big city. Have you wanted to do this for a while?
We did. Even from the beginning, when we opened our store, we had sights on coming into Summit. And so, yeah, we were really glad to be able to make the move.
Good, good. Now, tell me a little about yourself. Did you always do this? Were you always involved in retail or furniture? Or
No, I have not ever really, I've never had my own store until we opened this one, but did work in retail growing up. My husband came from a furniture background. His parents had a furniture store, but mainly I'm from North Carolina, and consignment stores are big in North Carolina.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
And the gal that I opened the store, my friend that I opened my store with in the beginning, she was from Maryland, and consignment stores were big there.
Isn't that interesting?
And so it was really born out of a thought that why not here?
Why not here? And you know, that's the interesting thing, because when you walk through the door, you would never in 1,000 years think that that was what was going on here, because everything is so beautiful. So how do people do that? Do they just come to you and say they have something, or do you go out looking for things?
We don't go looking. We mostly it's word of mouth, but people send photographs of their items to our email account, and then we ask that they make sure that the pictures show any condition issues, and then we're picky about what we pick, what we take, and so we want to know that it has a market, that it is current, at least in the ability for someone to pick it up and just take it and put it right in their home. So it has to have, the condition has to be great, and all of that.
Sure. Well, you can certainly see that this is well edited, the things you have here. But I also noticed that you have fabrics over there too. So how does that figure in?
Well, we have we custom order from the MT company, and that came about because we had so many young moms coming in, and they needed furniture, they needed upholstered pieces, and they kept saying, "But I have children, I have dogs," and so we came up upon the MT company in High Point when we were at the furniture market one year, and they had Sunbrella Fabrics, and we met one of the designers who actually designs fabric for Sunbrella and has his own line with the MT company, and he was formerly from New Jersey. So it's like,
world.
this is meant to be, and so we started ordering from them, and it's just grown from there, and really just to meet that need, to have something that's very affordable, well made, and then for the lifestyle of young families who it's rough and tumble, wear and tear, and all of that on there.
And this is a great place to come. I'm amazed, but you're right. We don't have a lot of consignment shops here, and when we have them, they seem to be more clothing. So this is this is a very interesting concept and obviously successful. How long were you in New Providence?
Almost 7 years.
Oh, really?
Right, and
Yeah.
so we've been here almost 3 months. So
Yeah.
we actually celebrated our 7-year anniversary in this location.
It's
So,
great.
mhm.
It's great. And you're right here on Springfield Avenue, and Summit is becoming quite the home decor hub. So you seem to be right in the right place at the right time. Also, it's much more than just furniture. I mean, you have a lot of accessories and things here. Tell me a little bit about some of the other things you sell.
Well, China, we do China, but it has to be a pattern that is marketable, and so we get a lot of calls for people who want to sell their China, but we can't take all of it, although, many beautiful patterns. But a lot of young couples are now not getting China, and then when they get into their 30s, they're like, I wish we would have done that.
Really? Isn't that interesting?
And
Yeah.
so we're selling to them, but also people are buying and mixing patterns, and
Yeah,
which
I
is
love
so
that
much
look.
fun.
Yeah, I love that look.
And so we try to take patterns that are very easily mixed.
Yeah,
and
like a
so-
base, almost like mixing furniture. You have your pattern fabrics, and then you do your accessory fabrics to go with it. I also see some wonderful pillows and some wonderful artwork.
We do. We take different kinds of artwork, prints and giclées and oils, and that they just have to be in nice frames and colors that are attracted to, that people find attractive today.
to go with their decor. Yeah. So, when working with people, do you get to be friends with them almost? And do you have people that bring something in to sell and then they buy?
We do. We have all of that, all of the above, and we have people who just come and say, they come in weekly, and they'll say, "This is my happy place," and they come in just to
Isn't
get a
that
pick
nice?
me up,
Yes.
or just to see pretty
Yep.
things, and it's really nice, and it changes all the time because we only keep items for 12 weeks, so the floor changes constantly, and so it's always neat things to see.
Great marketing, merchandising point. And tell me a little about your interesting price tags, because they're not like price tags in normal stores. Tell us about that.
Okay, so it's funny, when we first opened, I'm not from here, so I kept getting comments about our price tags that it's like Loehmann's or a store that like that. But what we do is we have 2 markdowns. So an item comes in at the top price, we price it, and it stays that price for 4 weeks. And then after 4 weeks, it goes down 15%, and then after 8 weeks, it goes down another 15%.
Wow.
For a total of 30% off the top price. Then the 12 weeks, it goes back to the consignor.
Goes back to the consigners. It is a great concept, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who come in and are going to hedge their bets and see whether it's going to be here in the time period to bring the price down.
They only do that once, because after one time they come back and it's gone,
Right.
and say, well,
Well-
it really wasn't worth waiting. And it's funny because we price things considering 4 things. One, who the manufacturer is. The second thing is the condition it's in. The third thing is the original price, and now I can't remember the 4th thing. But we can consider these things, and then so most things start at the most they are half of what it was originally for the original cost, and so you're getting a great deal if you
Yes.
get it at the top
Yes.
price.
Well, as we wandered in, I was just looking at the tags, and everything I looked at, in my mind, I went, "Wow, this is a really good price for that." So it's and I'm interested to hear that young people come in, because when you're starting out and you have kids and stuff, this is a great place to begin and have your home look like it was done. Now, do you do actual design help too?
Well, my son is a designer, and he does go and help with some design. He does that on his own, but he has done it for clients here. We ask if you want us to help in any way, and you don't want to hire a designer, bring pictures of the room, and then we can help you to figure out how to space things or place things, and what different pieces would work.
Yeah.
But that's really the extent. We're not interior designers,
Yeah.
although my son is. But
Yeah.
we just offer help in
Well-
what we love. So.
Well, sometimes that's what people need. They don't necessarily need the full design house to do it, but they need some help just pulling it together. And from what you have in here, you have wonderful taste. So, it's the full package here. So tell me the days that you're open.
We're Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5, and closed on Sundays.
Okay. And do you have a website?
We do. It's www.homeagaindesign.com.
And you're right here on Springfield Avenue, right in the middle of town. And we are just delighted to have you here. Thank you so much for making the move, and wish you all the best of luck in the world. And, if you have something to buy or you're looking for something to sell, come see my friend Kathy here, and she'll help you out. Thanks again. From Downtown Summit, that's Meet the Merchants. Thanks for being with us.